Welcome to Reconnect official first podcast episode. I am your host, Ethan Hernandez, the Director of Youth Services at Reconnect, and I am here with the co-founder, Father Jim O'Shea, the founder, the Executive Director.
Good to be with you, Ethan.
This is our 15-year anniversary coming up. I want to talk about the why and how Reconnect started.
Good. So why did you know why Reconnect started? Your life story is why Reconnect started, right?
Yeah. But
you
first,
and all your friends. That's the life story of the neighborhood, right? That's how it started. Not because of, right?
Absolutely. But the why for me is like, why did you move to Bed-Stuy? Because if you didn't move to Bed-Stuy, there's a good chance that Reconnect wouldn't have been around.
Maybe, but I mean, I moved to Bed-Stuy. I asked to go to Bed-Stuy to Our Lady of Montserrat Church in 1997, right? We met each other in the basketball program. We used to run at PS23. That's where I ended up meeting mostly all your friends, all the people in the neighborhood, along with the block and everywhere else. And that's the beginning, right? And then we worked together on many projects, but it was always trying to figure out how do you, I mean, that neighborhood at those days didn't have much for young people, right? You were growing up in it, not me. I came as an adult.
Yeah, there really wasn't much to do for us. Just be outside, getting into trouble, just doing all the wrong things for the right reasons, having fun, being young kids, not knowing where our future was going or heading. Like, you know, growing up in the neighborhood, you really never had those conversations with your parents about what are you going to be in life? What are you going to do as a profession?
Yeah, but I think you had more obstacles than I would have ever in a million years had growing up on Long Island. Just obstacles of daily life, the neighborhood, as good as the people were. You know, I mean, people struggled economically. The schools were not good. The police were not good. There was just all kinds there was violence all the time. There was, instability for young kids. And there was no real, there was not much, I mean, there's no parks except for concrete
Parks, yeah, no green spaces.
There were no organization, no program, nothing for kids to do after school. There was nothing open.
Yeah, a recreation for kids in the neighborhood was basically like commit crime, sell drugs, steal cars.
Yeah, you were all on the street. Everyone was on the street. I mean, but I'm saying that was the world you grew up in, and that was the world I moved into. But Reconnect ended up starting because of that. Your friends. When you think about all your friends, what happened to your friends? I mean, that's your best friends.
A lot of them has been murdered. Some of them are doing life in prison. So it's just, it was difficult, but it was also, like blessings and lessons
Absolutely.
that we learned growing up, I thank God for Reconnect because it's still helping me to this day and just giving back to the youth.
Yeah, but Reconnect didn't do anything that wasn't normal. Just create like a place to learn to work, make honest money, and have good peers, like good role models, mentors. That's not a lot to ask, right?
No, of course not.
But all your friends were all good. Like even, rest in peace, your friends that are not here. They were all great young men. I mean, good people, kind, respectful. There was nothing about them. They just got caught up in the only world that was there.
Absolutely.
I mean, drugs was for a lot of people, that's the only place to work. That was the only real place, right? There were no jobs in the neighborhood. No one was hiring anybody. People didn't like, the people that ran businesses didn't like the people in the neighborhood. Young men were the most always vilified and, by everybody, the police, so Yeah, I mean, Reconnect just did what should have been there from the moment you were born.
A good sense of community is what we bring to the youth partners. Just get them to think about life just in general and leading with love. That's what I learned from you, just being around you since 1997, is just how to love yourself and love one another. I think that's the core story of Reconnect, is just giving good people an opportunity that was never given to them, to help them build their confidence.
That's a great description of it. Just creating the first, like people always say, oh, it's the second chance, third chance. It's like, no, it's the first. It's really the first opportunity for a lot of people to ever get an opportunity to be in a respectful community that respects one another, give someone the opportunity to work, and to feel like you're valued, like you're something, you know. People got really treated like shit in the neighborhood, right? I mean, in general.
Yeah, absolutely.
By everybody, I mean, all the systems, everybody. So that the message that most young people got was, I'm not important.
Nobody cares about me.
Yeah. Nobody gives a shit about me. So why should I? So I think if you don't have that, you know, and even the people's parents struggled. Right?
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't get the memo.
That was some technical difficulties.
Yeah, we can edit that. He's like, boom. I'm like, what is he doing?
No, it's the first podcast. We have some technical difficulties. We have some challenged technicians, but that's good though. There's nothing wrong with that.
What I didn't understand is though how everybody in the neighborhood is going through the same struggles, but then somebody that lives 300 feet away from you just want to take your life. Because we're both in the same business to try to like take care of our families, and it gets to a point where somebody want to take somebody's life. I never understood that.
That's profound though. Because people learn that though. Like instead of saying like, and that Reconnect's idea was you work together to build something as opposed to always fighting with each other. Like you said, people killed each other over turf, over blocks, but you're right. Why would I hate someone enough to kill them or to hurt, to hurt them it makes no sense. But people learn that, right? They learn that from somebody. Like they learn that from the system that disrespected them. They just learn to hate and disrespect one another and not trust each other. So that's profound though. So if you can't change that, and Reconnect tries always to change that. It's like change the conversation.
Absolutely. And I would say every young man that came through Reconnect doors has changed the conversation to lead with love, and
I would say that's true.
Do their best to get in a better position in life.
I think you're right.
Because we have quite a few success stories.
There are a lot of them. But I'm saying a lot of people would also say like the people that are in Reconnect, the community, from the eyes of other people on the outside, people say this person's a problem, or they're dangerous, or they've had this. And then they come into a community that respects them. They act completely differently because they're not threatened, and they get respected, and they feel love, and people. Nobody wants to fight and hate and kill, but we put people in situations where they're treated as less than human, and then we're surprised that people act the way they act.
You've been beaten up your whole life,
right? Why would you be? It makes no sense not to be like that, just to survive. So if you recreate a community and say, if you took a jail, like what did we do to people on Rikers Island? I could say this in living. You were in Rikers Island for.
Yeah, I was in Rikers Island
a year,
but I remember when I was in Rikers Island as a detainee, not even a convicted, inmate, and the things that I saw and that were done to us were like the turtles would walk in there and.
What's a turtle for those that don't know?
The turtle is like, it's like the bully crew of the correction officers where. Okay. You have to go and search the room And once they go in to search the dorm, everything that you bought in commissary that's open, they throw it out. They pour in the sodas on the floor, the water's on the floor, ransacking your things to see if you have any weapon, making you get naked, and in a line of like 60 guys, but one by one, in your birthday suit, turn around, squat, cough to make sure you don't have any weapons in the rear end. And, it was dehumanizing. I was grateful for the experience though, because it made me appreciate my freedom a lot more. Just the little things like going to the store and having a glass of ice water, talking on the phone as long as I would like to. Those little things. And it also showed me patience, just sitting around waiting for my release date, which, wasn't that long, but it is kind of long.
But I'm saying that's to dehumanize somebody, that you took some good things out of it and you weren't going to be there for 20 years. You took some good things. But why do we have to create a system, millions and millions of dollars go into that system to dehumanize people that have already been dehumanized, and we think it's going to help somebody?
Yeah, it's just.
I mean, it's stupid. It's a stupid waste of money. And so I think Reconnect's model is a whole different model of saying you don't use the word love, but you don't heal somebody with hate and cruelty and viciousness. You heal someone with love, with acceptance, with inclusion, and we for some reason we can't. We're afraid of that. Like, so we have to beat someone up. We have to beat them down more. You see it now in the government stuff with the more, like, the crueler you are, there's lots of people that applaud. Yes, they deserve it. Beat them up. And that's why, I guess, for me, going to Bed-Stuy as a white man from Long Island, to relearn what this is all about. And you see the systems that we've created that we don't care about. Because we don't know people. Like, people don't know you. They don't know a neighborhood. They don't know people that are struggling. And the decision makers, they have no idea who people really are. And they create these horrific systems to try to correct things. And all they do is make it worse.
Yeah, hurt humans.
A lot of your friends that came out of jail and they were worse than when they went in. Because lots of them were good, respectful young people that got caught up in stuff, and you put them in a dehumanized system, and you expect that we spend millions and millions of dollars. There's studies about Bed-Stuy. When we were in Bed-Stuy, how much money they spend just on blocks, and like they called them $1 million blocks. Like, it was, I don't know if it was every day or every month, the city would spend $1 million to house the people from just that one block.
In prison,
upstate
it's unbelievable.
And we Reconnect. We had a budget we started with $2,000 and did probably more good for people that were on the edge of life. But yeah. So, I mean, it's
when you think about it, it is powerful when you think about it. Because it was with the $2,000 we started with. It's like, okay, hey guys, no more selling drugs. We're gonna sell fresh produce. We're gonna bring some health to the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And me talking about health, look at me now, I'm not healthy, but the goal is to get there. But it's okay. But
you eating good though.
To just start with a fruit stand. That also show the guys work ethic, teamwork, waking up on time, just those little things that people.
I remember. I'm not going to use his name on the air. A.R. Remember, we picked him up on the corner.
Oh, yeah.
Took him to lunch?
Absolutely, yeah. It was this young man that was going down the wrong path, and we took him from the corner. We took him to Applebee's on Fulton Street.
That was expensive, yep.
And we just had a conversation with him, asking him what he's doing with his life, what he wants to do with his life, and we convinced him to throw away the paraphernalia he had.
We paid him for it.
We paid him for it so he could pay off his boss. And that was life-changing for him, because look what he's doing now.
That's a simple thing. Inches.
Look
of
he's
what can
doing
happen
now.
to somebody.
He graduated from college, has a good job, started his family.
I was just thinking about a funny story at Rikers Island, though. Remember one time we went to Rikers Island? I think it was to visit. I forget who was to visit. And we were going in to the guards. And this is just a point about Rikers Island, how difficult it makes people just to visit their loved ones or people that they want to visit. They make it so hard that you would never want to come back.
You talking about when you had the hole in your shorts?
Yeah. So I had a pants on, and the guard said, "You have and it was a tiny, like
like a little hole, like your key might have made
right.
it.
And he
like
said, "You can't come you can't come in because you have a little hole in your pants. There's some law. There's some rule you can't have.
They thought you was going to smuggle in there,
right?" So I said, "What?" I said, "You're going to tell me that I can't?" Then this is after you take the bus to get there. You go. It's an hour to get onto the aisle, and then you have to wait. They humiliate you every point along the way. They strip. They don't strip search you, but they search you as if you strip search, humiliate you, and then I get to the door, and he says, "You can't come in. You got a little thing," which is stupid, of course. So I said to him, I said, "I'm a priest and I'm visiting this person. Will you have identification?" I said, "No, I don't have identification." And I said, "Can I speak to your supervisor?" Remember the supervisor, the captain came out. And I don't know if she was trying to be nice to me or she was trying to humiliate me. I'm not sure.
She gave you the jail shorts.
So she said, "You can't go in." She said, "But I can help you. Let me come. Give me a minute." And she came back with the shorts they give the prisoners, these white shorts with no pockets. And she said, "You could put these on and take your pants off and put these on and you could come in."
You was a trooper for that.
So she made me go in with black shoes, black socks, and these stupid white shorts into the jail to see whoever we were going to visit. But I thought and I'm a person that has all kinds of privilege, but just the way you humiliate somebody just to go visit somebody.
You felt humiliated.
Well, we kind of laughed about it because you were there, but it's clearly meant to humiliate. Like if the whole system just humiliates people and puts people through torture of all kinds of levels, and we think it's a good system. It's somehow worth the investment. But I mean, that's just a simple system. Simple story about me be experiencing as a 55-year-old man, imagine what they do to the people, as you know, inside that have no privilege, no protection, nobody standing up for them, nobody advocating for them. What they do to these young folks that go in there. Lots of them also with mental illness and struggles. We don't care. We don't give a shit about them. That's for sure.
I remember when I was in there, they gave me a ticket and I had to see the judge, and they tried to take away my good time because the captain said that I was trying to excite a riot.
I remember that.
For just standing up for the inmates in my dorm because we didn't have a hot pot. And if you ever been to Rikers Island, you have a hot pot to heat up all your food if you don't eat food from the dining room. And the hot pot wasn't working for days. And I just basically told the guys, like, hey, nobody should go to work. If we don't get hot pots and what we need in here, we shouldn't go to work because we were running the kitchen in C95. And one of the inmates told on me, and just for that, he tried to say that I tried to excite a riot and they tried to put me in a box for 100 days.
And the box is?
And the box is solitary confinement. And
what's that like?
I wasn't in there. Because I was on my way home. I was already short on time, but if I would have had more time, they would have put me in solitary confinement. And that, for someone like me, it would have probably been difficult because I'm used to just being around people, talking to people, and just to be.
You gotta move.
I gotta move around. I don't look like I move around now, but
No, you move around. You just bring a lot of weight with you. That's good though.
And for 15 years, then from the fruit stand to the cafe,
the garden, community garden,
the garden with Earl.
That
was hard work.
All your old friends in the neighborhood.
That was hard work, for real, for real.
I would say a lot of the old timers in that neighborhood used to say to me, thank you so much. You guys are doing this. And they used to say about you, we look at Ephraim and he used to do this, this, and this. And now he's like a leader and changing all these young men and bringing them on board. That's true though. It's amazing. How a simple thing, though, like a simple idea can help so many people just find a different way forward, right? It's crazy.
Yeah, I guess it's just thinking about the human race. What life is like now. I think we just got to think about the human race in general and figure out a way how to help one another.
That's deep.
I was in the neighborhood and I saw this guy that works for the MTA, and I haven't seen him in a while, and he was like, "Hey, where you at? Where you guys are at? Are you still working with the father?" And we were like, "Yeah, we're just in Jamaica, Queens."
The guy
now.
used to buy the coffee?
No, a bus driver. And he was like, "Yeah, oh, that's great. You guys are in Jamaica, Queens now. Hey, where's the other guy that used to be with you?"
Who?
And he was talking about the young man that runs Thomas Berry Place now, the maintenance guy. And he was talking about him, like, he was with you.
What happened to him?
He came in to Reconnect and he made a big change in life. And,
he did? I haven't heard from him in a long time.
Yeah, he's always busy. He's always busy with work. So.
Yeah. He became a boxer, didn't he?
Yeah, he was.
He was boxing oranges or something. Yeah. No, that's Edwin.
And we got the fundraiser coming up. How you feel about that?
I feel it's good. It's going to be good. 15 years. It's hard to believe. Starting this, but the movement continues. There's been at least over 500 people, young men that have been employed in Reconnect, part of the Reconnect community over 15 years, over 500, but lots and lots of other people just connected. It's amazing, right? All those stories.
Yeah. I wonder, like, what is it going to, like, how is it even possible, like, for us to get, like, a Reconnect in other areas of, like, the United States? Like,
people have to do it.
Like, I don't, because it started in Bed-Stuy, yes, but there's a bunch of rough neighborhoods all over the world.
Yeah, but why you got? I mean, people always say to me, "Why don't you do a Reconnect in Newark? Why don't you do a Reconnect?" And I say, "You do it."
But if we had the money, we would do it.
No, but they should.
If somebody gave us $1 billion tomorrow, we would do it.
I don't think it's a franchise. I think it's what people should do for each other. People should step up in their own community and say, "We're not going to tolerate the buffoonery. Like, we're not going to tolerate that people are just mistreated, hated, criminalized, vilified, and we're going to create a different system." It just takes good people to do something. It's not a big, and give your time and give a little bit of money and make it happen. Like, what's so clever about what we did? We took over a community garden and brought guys from the block and put them to work and worked with them, stood with them, walked around, figured it out, developed it. There was no big idea. Then we went to the selling vegetables and the Christmas trees and the cafe. People have to do it. People have to be willing to change. If you don't want to change, you can complain about everybody else, but step up and do it, right?
That's true. That is true.
But that's the moral, I think, of Reconnect. The point is we should look wherever we land. I had the privilege of doing that in Bedford-Stuyvesant, coming to a community that welcomed me, always respectfully, as someone coming from the outside, and experiencing people's lives and saying what's it's outrageous what we do to one another. And then with you, when you got older, saying how can we work together to think differently and create something. So you're not just moralizing, like telling people, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. But create something, create jobs, create ways for people to be different, and create love, like create a community of love, right? That's what you do. You're always creating a community of love.
Oh, thank you for that. For giving me the opportunity.
No, thank you.
To be,
it's not about me.
To choose me as your partner. That was.
No, I think just we always worked together well. We always, had a vibe and energy. And you had a lot of respect in the neighborhood. I had respect from my own side, but you had a lot of respect from all the other parts of the neighborhood. So I think as a team, we were able to because respect it's all about respect.
for the wrong reasons, and
but
hopefully
I
gain the
think
right
people
respect.
But I think you had respect from a lot of people. People respected you for other reasons, not just from the stuff you might think was the hard stuff, but I mean, it's all about creating respect. That's the only reason Reconnect, I would say, has been 15 years strong, is because we have a respectful community. Young men come here, feel respected, and feel included, and they say, yeah.
They travel 2 hours.
Yeah, maybe there's more to life than what I thought it was, and that's at the end of the day. Maybe there's more to life than I've been told. That's a pretty good thing to be able to do for 15 years, and a lot of times it changes people's stories, right?
Yeah, a lot of times.
So thank you, Efren. It's been a great 15 years, more than that.
Yeah, for us, it's been, I don't want to say, man, it's been like 26 for us, but to another 15.
To at least another 15.
To another 15.
I'm going to clink my coffee. I don't know what you're drinking.
Some high quality H2O.
I hope that's water. All right.
Yeah, of course.
Cheers.
Cheers.
To another 15 years.
To another 15.
And thank you, everybody who supported Reconnect for 15 years. To 15 more.
Thank you.
And maybe more than that.
And maybe more than that, absolutely.
Amen.
Amen.